Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coach Mean Green, and the topic of this video today is not the happiest conversation, but it's a necessary one. Um, First, before I start the video, I want to say happy heavenly birthday to my daughter, Kimani Vera Emmanuel. She would have been 22 years old today. Every year, her birthday and her death day, they don't get any easier. It doesn't get easier. But I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about grief. I wanted to talk about things you should or shouldn't say to people that when they lose someone, especially someone that's really close to them. But anyone that they lose that matters to them, but especially people that were in their lives every day. People that they hold near and dear to them, their mom, their dad, a cousin, aunt, uncle, a child. I'm gonna go over a few things that people told me, and just overall like what it's like to deal and live with grief. And it's been several years. She was 30. I was 30 when she passed away, and I'm now 46. So I've been dealing and living with this for almost 16 years. It'll be exactly 16 years this September. And I'm just getting into my bag of being able to talk about it freely and be able to articulate my feelings better than I had in the past. And it's taken this amount of time to do that, to be able to do that. In the beginning, I think I was in shock for the first 3 or 4 years. And it was almost like it wasn't real kind of thing in the very beginning. And it took a while to really set in. I mean, I knew she wasn't here, but it's hard to explain. But later on, and I finally got to a place now where I can talk about it, and I have a better understanding of the grieving process. And I'm really hoping that if anyone knows someone that lost a child, or someone close to them, and they're really having a difficult time, I would hope that you could share this video with them. My goal, that's pretty much the reason why I started sharing my story and started talking about the most personal thing to me in public, because I know my purpose, and my purpose is to use the pain that I have to be a light to someone else. And that's kind of my goal. So guys, I see that some people are coming in. I don't know if you're in here. Could you please do two things? Could you please like the live, and also could you drop in the comments? We're gonna drop purple hearts in the comments for Kimani today. So please drop those purple hearts in the chat. The Grammys. The Grammys were disappointed. I'm not talking about the Grammys, honey. This chat tonight, I'm talking about my daughter that passed away. Today is her birthday. She would have been 22 years old. So I did talk about the Grammys in one of my latest videos. So if you would like to talk about the Grammys, or see a video about that, please take a look at that video. It's one of the more recent videos that I posted. No, you don't have to apologize. It's fine. You probably just came into the live and thought maybe I was talking about current events and you didn't know. That's fine. Oh, thank you so much, Mia. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it. And thank you for the purple hearts. I truly appreciate that. What I'm talking about, guys, And I think if you've never lost someone close to you, you might want to listen, because you don't know what it feels like to lose someone close to you until you do. And no one talks about the grieving process. What happens is, in the very beginning, when it happens, you're in a fog. Like you can't even believe it really happened, right? Like, it's, especially if it's a sudden death, you cannot even believe that it really happened. So you're living in like this alternate universe, and everything is happening, and you're aware that things are happening, but you're not in your headspace. You're not in the proper headspace to really absorb everything that's happening. So in the very beginning, the only thing that you're able to do is just breathe in and breathe out, and just get through each day the best that you can. And during that time, that's when everyone's around. You got everybody comes to visit, everybody comes to your house, everybody is like inundating you with attention and food and love and all of the things. But that's not the time that you need the most people around, okay? Because after the funeral, once the funeral is done, now you go back home and you're like, wait a minute, like, this really happened, like, they're really gone. And you have to figure out from that moment on how to continue on without them being there. And if they lived in the house with you, that makes it even more difficult. If they're your child, if it's your mom, your dad, God forbid, a sibling, people that you lived with every single day, it makes it that more difficult. So even if you haven't lost anyone in your life, you might want to just listen in, just so, God forbid, it does happen one day, you can at least have more of an understanding of what you'll be going through. So yeah, I jumped right into the topic, but before I do that, it is Mani's birthday. Her name was Kimani Vera Emanuel. She was 6 years old when she passed away, but when she was alive, honey, she was alive. She was a very, very intelligent child. She already knew all of her times tables at 6 years old, honey, okay? She was very smart. She was very witty, very funny. She had a humor that was beyond her years. She was very observant, and she knew who she was, and she knew what she liked. If she was not worried about people at school that may not have liked her, she would just make new friends. She was a very giving and very helpful child, and very energetic, very athletic. Like, I had all kinds of dreams and hopes and wishes for this child. Like, I knew she would be okay, because she was just so dynamic at 6. Okay, before 6, but up until 6. And what happened is, I'll just give a brief summary of what happened, because people often ask that. I did a video here on YouTube with a long video talking about what happened, what led up to her death, all of that. So if you want to watch that video, you can, but I'll give a brief synopsis here. She went on a vacation with my mom to a resort in Mexico, and unfortunately she drowned while she was there, and she passed away. So I was not on the trip. I had to work, so I was not able to go on the trip. She went on the trip and she just never came home. So the last time I saw her was a few days prior to her death. So once she passed away, I was scheduled to go to Mexico because she was in the hospital. But before I could board the plane the following morning, she had passed overnight. And when she came home, we just had to jump right into funeral mode, and it was a very whirlwind situation. I was in a fog. I had no idea what was really, that it was not a dream. It was just a lot. And throughout that process, a lot of people, even after she passed and I went back to work, a lot of people had some very peculiar things to say. So that's the first section of this live that I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about what not to say when somebody loses someone. And the thing is, the reason why I think people say crazy things is because we don't talk about death. We all know that one day we're not going to be here anymore. We all know that we're going, the only way out of here is to die. We all know that. But we don't talk enough about death. We don't talk enough about grieving. So when it happens, people get extremely uncomfortable and they really don't know what to tell you. They don't know what to say. So they just say what they think will make you feel better. So I'm going to tell you what doesn't make someone that lost a child, okay? I can only speak from my experience. Losing a child, you do not want to hear, oh, you can just have another child. Just before you say that, think about what you're saying. And if you have multiple children, just think about someone saying to you, oh, if that one goes, you still got 3 more. What? Every single one of your children is special, right? They're special to you. They each have a unique personality. So to say that to someone that's grieving the loss of their only child, that is not the thing to say. Like, don't say that. Don't say, oh, you can just have another child. Instead, just offer your condolences. My condolences to you. Is there anything that I can do? And only say that if you are able to do something. If you're not, you don't have to say, I'm here to help if you need help. Because if they ask for help, you have to be able and willing to actually help. So you can just offer your condolences, offer to be an ear for them if they need it, and that's all. You don't have to add any special sauce. You don't have to say they're in a better place. They're in a, it's God's plan, it's God's will. All of those things, while it may be well-intentioned, it does not, it's a sting to someone that just lost someone. And then the other thing that we're all human, so I understand. But the other thing that people do is people say, what happened? How did they die? And again, I understand because we're all human and we all have curiosity. But just think about, before you ask that question, think about what you're asking the person that is grieving to do. What you're asking them to revisit or reiterate how they lost their loved one. And that's just not helpful for them. If you're speaking to them and they tell you what happened, fine. But don't ask, like, what happened? Were they sick? Don't do that. It's not the appropriate thing to ask. It's not the appropriate thing to say. Guys, as you come in, if you're in here, please drop purple hearts in the chat for me, please. That is the color, that was my daughter's favorite color. Hello, Rest in Faith, how are you? I'm just talking about my daughter. Today was her birthday. She would have been 22 years old today, and I just wanted to come live and just talk about grief, talk about what it's like to live with this level of pain, and just talk about some things that just give some tips on how you can address people when they lose someone, because sometimes we tend to feel uncomfortable and we don't really know what to say, so we end up saying something that could hurt someone else. So what I was saying is, people would often say, like, they're in a better place, or the thing that people told me the most was, oh, you can have another child. And honestly, guys, please never say that, okay? And never ask them, the family, the wife, the mother, never ask them what happened. Though you may want to know, you may really want to know, but please don't do that because it's just insensitive. And it's, if they offer, like I was saying, if they offer that information, fine. But don't be the one to say to them what happened. It's just inappropriate. The best thing for you to do when someone lost someone is to just be there for them. Just be there for them. If they start talking to you about whoever it is, just listen. Thank you, Rest in Faith. She passed away in 2009. And every year I go through this on her birthday. And I'll tell you this, guys, like the feeling, it's a feeling of longing. If that's the best way I can describe it, I'm always wondering what if, like how she would look now, what she would be doing now, what she would be doing in life, how she would sound, how tall she would have gotten. Because right before her death, she started sprouting up. Like her arms got extremely long and she was really thin, like slim, but really muscular at the same time. She was naturally muscular. And just, I don't know, her face was starting to change. She was just starting to change, you know? And I often wonder like what she would have ended up looking like now, and like what our relationship would be like, where I would be. Would I be living in New Jersey? Because I live in New Jersey now. I think about that a lot. I think about the fact that I'll never see her graduate. I never will see her get married, walk down the aisle, graduate from college. And those things, it's just this sense of longing. But the one thing that I hold on to is gratitude, because unfortunately, guys, there are women, and if I'm sorry if this is the sensitive topic, what I'm about to say, there are women that for whatever reason are unable to have children. And I thank God that I was able to experience pregnancy and what it's like to have a little human growing inside of you and that bond that you have with your child. I'm very thankful to God that when she was born, she was healthy. I was able to have 6 years with her. I was sharing this earlier because I'm also a fitness coach, and I did a virtual fitness class right before I came live. And I was saying in class, I was sharing the story of her birth, and the cord was wrapped around her neck and her shoulder, and I felt something, like something didn't feel right, and I refused to push any further. Like I was like, I'm not pushing anymore. I'm not. And the doctors, at first they were like, oh, you need to keep pushing. And I was like, no, something is wrong. I'm not pushing anymore. So I ended up having an emergency C-section, and unfortunately, the young lady that was in the birthing room right next to me, her baby was born stillborn. And I often think about her and her journey and what her journey must have been like, because I'm sure she had a baby shower. I'm sure she had a nursery. Oh my God. And you have to go home with no baby. In Jesus' name. My heart still goes out to that young lady. And I think about that, and I think about the fact that even in your worst situation, there's a blessing in that. And that's what I choose to think more about. Even though I am sad, I think about I'm grateful that I was able to have her for 6 years, and that she definitely left her mark in this world, and she definitely left her mark in my life, in my heart, in my actions, in the way that I do things, in the way that I show up in the world, and in the way that I see the world. She definitely has influenced that. That's why I'm able to do what I do, and that's why I'm able to push forward in the way that I am, because I understand that I really understand firsthand, seeing it, that we are on borrowed time. And once we are no longer here, the only thing that is left of you is your legacy. What did you leave behind? How did you show up in the world? Who were you? How will people remember you? What nuggets have you left for your family, for your friends? Who were you in the world? And that's what I hold on to, because in her 6 years, she left her mark. I'm still here as her mom talking about her today. Guys, as you come in, I see people coming in and out. As you come in, please drop purple hearts in the chat. For my baby girl, Kimani Vera, please drop the purple hearts in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it. I thank you guys for showing up tonight. I needed to talk. I wanted to talk about her. I wanted to hopefully be a blessing to someone else, someone that's going through right now, that doesn't see that light yet, that is still very much in the midst of grief. I just want to tell you, that person, if you come across this video, I want to tell you that it doesn't go away. That pain doesn't go away. But what happens is it changes, and you start to learn to live through the pain. You start to smile again. You start to find purpose again, and you will come out of it. You got to hold on to, if you believe in God, you got to hold on to God, pray. Also, figure out how you're going to hold that person's legacy, how you're going to keep their legacy alive. But take it day by day. You understand? If you feel like crying, if you need to cry, if you need to lay in bed and cry, if you feel sad, you go in your room and you do that. You cry, you get it out, you think about the good times, you look at pictures, you go to their grave if that's what makes you feel better. Don't let anyone tell you or guilt you into not grieving. Because most of the time, people that haven't lost someone that close to them, they see you grieving and they're like, oh, they need to get out, they need to snap out of it. But there are some things in life that you just don't get over. There are some things in life that you just can't pass. You just can't push past. You're always gonna have that. You're always gonna feel that pain. But look at me. Use me as an example. Even though I feel that pain, I still have figured out how to live through it. I have not let it consume me, and I thank God for that each and every day. But if you find yourself finding it difficult to move forward, then what you want to do is seek guidance. So whether that be going to grief counseling, that's okay. It's okay to go to grief counseling. It's okay to I did group grief counseling, and that didn't work for me. I'll tell you why. It didn't work for me because the grief counseling was filled with people that lost children. Most of it was people that lost their child, but they lost their child in different ways. And some people, everybody was at a different stage of grief. And for me, the only thing that did was make me just feel sad and more sad and sorry and sad for everyone. It didn't really make me feel like it was a benefit. I don't know how else to describe it, but I didn't do that for a long time. It was too sad for me. And everyone has a different way to grieve, and everyone has a different experience with their grief. So grief group counseling didn't work, but that may work for you because it's also a support. Like, you'll be around other people that are also going through what you're going through, and it'll help you to at least not feel alone. Because that's the one thing about grief. Even though everyone in your family may be grieving, for me as her mom, sometimes I felt so alone in my grief, even though there were I have my mom, my sister, my dad, her siblings. She had other siblings, all these other people that were grieving her. But I was with that little girl every day. Okay? She was my little shadow. We went everywhere together just about. And for her to not be here anymore, I'm sorry, guys. I keep pulling out my nose. It's tingling and itching a little bit. I'm sorry. For her to not be here anymore, really, I felt lonely. Like I missed her beyond. And the reason why I'm able to talk about it now or say like how I was feeling, because at the time I didn't realize that I felt lonely. I didn't realize it at the time because, like I said, I was in a fog. But as I grew in my understanding and actually did go to therapy, that helped me to be able to better articulate my pain and be able to better articulate my grief. And that's how I'm able to talk about it the way that I do now, without crying, like without being like, oh my baby. But then sometimes, guys, the tears come. Today, I didn't cry that much. I thought I would cry during class when I was doing my virtual fitness class, but I didn't. I felt sad, but I didn't cry. It's really something that I wish I didn't have to. It's a burden I wish I didn't have to bear, but I understand why God chose me. At the same time, I understand. Hi, Sherelle. I love you too, boo. I understand why God chose me. He knew I would be strong enough. He knew I would be strong enough, and he knew that eventually I would be able to speak about it and be a blessing for somebody else. To this day, if someone unfortunately loses a child, I have friends that'll reach out to me and ask me to speak to that person. And I will, and I do. I'll speak to them and just tell them, just hear them, just listen to them. And there's like a certain understanding that they have, that I have, that we share, that we both wish we didn't have to. And they always ask me like, will I smile again? Will I be able to get out of this bed? And I'm like, you will get up. You will get up again. You will smile again. You don't have to feel guilty for smiling. I think about, and because honestly, like in the very beginning, I felt guilty if I was laughing, right? It's a strange thing, but I did. I was like, how can I laugh when my child is in the ground? Like, it's not funny, right? But then something one day, I guess it was her from heaven, because she's chilling. She's partying in heaven while we down here in this. We down here in hell, and she chilling. But I'm crying, right? But one day, I remember I heard a voice say to me, Mom, I don't like you crying. And I was like, you 100% right, because if ever she saw me crying, she was like, Mommy, don't cry. She was like, you're supposed to be happy. And then she would come up to me and wipe my tears. So she doesn't want me to cry. She wants me to live. She wants to see me happy. She wants to see me thriving. She wants to see me taking care of myself. So that's what I do. That's what I do. I live. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, tomorrow, we all know tomorrow is not promised. We all know the only way out of here is in the ground. We all know that. But then at the same time, we be taking our time for granted. We take our time for granted. We put things off. And I always talk about, my favorite topic is fitness, and I'm gonna tie that in as well, because we don't take care of ourselves. Look at you know, unfortunately, Irv Gotti, I don't know if you guys know who that is, if you're not a hip hop follower, but he was a mogul. I'm saying was. Irv Gotti was. Wow. He was a hip hop mogul, and he just passed away. He had a major stroke. A major stroke. Health related passing at 54 years old. And you know, we and I'm guilty of it too, like turning up in your 20s, taking all the shots, drinking all this alcohol, eating poorly, eating all the foods, going out to all these brunches. And some of y'all are still doing that. And some of y'all are still going out on these brunches and eating whatever you want, not paying attention to your health, not taking the time to work out, not taking your health seriously. The only way out of here, there's one way out. And you don't want your health like something you could have prevented. Now, granted, there's diseases that we can get that anyone can get, even if you're working out. But health related stuff like having a stroke, like heart disease and all of that, these are things that you can either manage or prevent. And the way that you do that is with your diet and with exercise and taking care of your body. But we don't do it. We take that for granted. And that's the one thing I think I've come out of this with. Like I've learned from my baby girl not being here is, listen, it's not a game. Like once you are dead, you're dead. Like that's it. And the only thing left of you, the only thing left of your life, that whole time you've been here, whether it be 6 years like her, or 46 years, or 54 years, or 90 years, however you're here, the only thing left of you is your legacy. What did you leave behind? So if you have children, if you have people that look up to you, what behavior did you leave behind for them to pick up? That's huge, because that continues on throughout all the generations of your family. What did you leave behind? Is this really something to think about, guys? It's something to think about. It's something that we all have to take seriously. It's something that you can't play around with. Like, you really can't play around with your health. You can't play around with working out. And I say it, and probably every single time I turn on a camera on YouTube and post a video on YouTube, my purpose here is to create an army of women, especially women that look like me, to stop playing and start taking their health seriously. Stop saying that they can't work out, they don't have enough time, they don't have enough this, they don't have enough that, they hate working out, they don't know what to eat, they blah 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 blah. I'm gonna always promote health and wellness and consistency. Whether that be a fitness journey, whether that be a wellness journey, whether that be a business venture you're trying to do, whether that be promoting a message that you're trying to promote, being consistent about it. And if you check my stats, I'm probably the most consistent person on this here internet. Okay? The most consistent. Because believe it or not, guys, you can do this too. You can also become consistent. It's just a matter of putting that piece first, like putting that first. And not making the excuse and doing things, doing the hard things, even when you don't feel like it. And I know we say that a lot, but like literally, that's the secret. Just like, you know how they say, you want to lose weight, how do you lose weight? Diet and exercise. It rolls off the tongue, right? We all know that. But people still don't do it. Why? Because there's more to it than just knowing. There's more to it than just having the knowledge. You also have to have the action behind that knowledge. And honey, that's if you can bottle up action and consistency and sell it, woo, honey, you'll be rich. Cause that's the thing. Like people start something and then stop. But I think tying it back to my unfortunate, the unfortunate part of my life that my baby girl is not here. I know that dealing with that pain has brought me to where I am today. It's brought me here to a place where I'm able to be consistent and I don't take each day for granted because I understand that tomorrow really isn't promised. And even though today I'm feeling so sad and I'm feeling so down and I don't really feel like talking, I'm on here talking because I know even if there's one person, not even, I know that there's going to be one person that watches this that is going through. I'm going to read your comment in 1 second. That's going through something. That's going through the loss of their child. That's going through the loss of a parent. In Jesus' name, going through whoever's passed away, and they are going to see this, and it's something I say today is going to give them hope to keep going. And that makes my purpose complete, like, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make people do the things that they didn't think that they could. So Marianne, hello. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If I'm not, please charge it to my head and not my heart. Coach, you are keeping your baby alive by keeping her memory alive and being the best you because of her. Oh, that warmed my heart. That's it in a nutshell. And that's why I had to step outside of my box, step outside of my comfort zone, and start going live, start posting on social media, start talking about the real, about what's happening with me and dealing with the death of my daughter. I know that there are a lot of people that have known me from high school, college, from middle school that follow me on social media. And when she passed away, people are like, oh, my condolences. And every year when I post about her, people say my condolences and stuff. But you have no idea what I go through on this side. So I'm going to start sharing it. I'm going to start sharing it because I know that that's what's missing from this world. Like there's not enough discussion, and especially in our community, about grief. What we're told is get over it. What we're told is, oh, they're in a better place. They're in a better place. But like I was saying in the very beginning of the video, saying someone is in a better place is probably the most hurtful thing to say to someone when they've lost the person that meant the most to them. Because the better place would be right here with me. That's how they feel, especially when it first happens. Also, when people told me in the very beginning that, or still to this day, and that's another thing I want to share before I end. I'm trying to stay within time. I don't want to go over. That I could have another child. People would tell me that in the beginning, but now, to this day, guys, because I'm a woman, and women greet other women by asking if they have kids. This is the thing that I've learned over the years. We don't talk about like world events. We don't ask about like what hobbies do you like to do? What are your interests? What are you into? No, we don't do that. What kind of music do you like? The first thing we do when we meet people, women, they come to me or they ask anyone, any other woman. Just think about it, guys. Think about when you go out and you're socializing and you meet a new person, a new woman, a person outside, somewhere. You're at a party, you're at an event. Eventually, the conversation is going to turn to, so do you have kids? Just think about how weighted that question is for me. Think this for a moment. Put yourself in my shoes. I'm at an event. I'm having a good day. I'm in a great spirit. And then someone comes to me and they say, "You have kids?" I really wish women weren't socialized the way we are. But it's not our fault. Like, we from a small age. Just think about our toys. Think about the toys they give girls from a small age. It's baby dolls and carriages. When I was growing up, it was Baby Alive. Like, they're teaching us from when we're young that all we're good for is to have kids, right? And that's it. That's our purpose here, just to have kids. Like, you don't have any purpose beyond that. And I think that also ties into why a lot of women don't take the time to take care of themselves, because we've been socialized to take care of everyone else, and we're not socialized to take care of us. And that's a travesty. And I want to shake the table on that, because the first priority has to be to take care of you. Even if you have children, even if you have a husband, even if you have, you must take care of yourself. So anyway, back to the conversation that always happens. So now I'm faced with a dilemma, right? I'm at an event, I meet someone for the first time, and they ask me, "You got kids?" So because of the experiences I've had, this has been 16 years now. Because of the experiences I've had, that question, I have to now I have to figure out, do I want to tell them, yes, I have a daughter, or I had a daughter? So I've tested a few things out. I've done the, yes, I have a daughter, but then they don't stop there, right? Then they're like, "Oh, how old is she?" So I'm like, shit. So I'm like, 6. And then I try to leave it at that, and then they keep going with it. So then I was like, okay, that doesn't work. Me, just saying, yes, I have a daughter and she's 6. That doesn't work, because they keep going with it. They keep asking more questions. So then I also told people, yes, I had a daughter who passed away. And then it turns into me consoling them, which I totally understand, because it's not natural, right? A parent losing a child is not natural. I get it. But you're a stranger. I don't know you. And I have to console you, or you start crying, you start asking me, did you want to have more kids? All these personal things, or the things that just in that moment. Because remember, guys, I said I'm out at an event, I'm out at a party, I'm out at a wedding. It happened to me at a wedding. It's happened to me at all kinds of events. And because I'm a personable person, and I'll talk to people. But the conversation always goes to kids when it's women talking amongst women. So that's a very heavy question for me. So I really wish, the point of what I'm saying is, I really wish that women, and just think about this, be conscious about that when you also, you're out and about, and you're out, hanging out and stuff, and you meet a new girl or meet a new woman, and you like her, y'all are talking and stuff like that. Just be mindful of asking if they have children, because there's a few things that could be going on. They could unfortunately be in my boat and be a bereaved parent. They could have issues having children. They could have strained relationships with their kids, and it's very touchy for them. You don't know what their situation is, or they could be trying to have children at that moment and having a difficult time. So fertility and all of that is also a very sensitive subject. So I really would like for us in 2025 to stop asking women if they have kids. Let's ask the woman, when you meet a new person, ask them about their interests, or what they think about whatever current event you want to talk about, or something else besides kids. If they bring up their children, fine, but don't lead with that. You understand? Guys, I am feeling a lot better. I really did need to talk, I guess. Like today, my husband's so cool. Like he knows on the day of her birth and the day of her death that P.S. I'm an Aquarius. And Aquarians, we like people, but we also like to be left alone. And he knows like on this day I like to like be alone and look at pictures of her and write in my journal, and he lets me be. He like lets me do that and lets me have my space, and I really appreciate him for that. But I felt like I needed to talk, and I was initially gonna do a taped video and post it tomorrow, but no, I wanted to go live and talk today. So I really appreciate you guys for coming, and there were a few people like that came in and out. I see people drop a like, they drop thumbs up. If you're still in here and you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button for me. Anyone out there that sees this video, yes, talking venting is good, coach. I'm speaking from experience. It is. Talking about my pain, talking about like the things that I've experienced since she passed away, and just the longing. That's the thing that I live with on a day-to-day basis, especially now, like as I'm getting older. And now this would have been the sweet spot, that our relationship would have been in that sweet spot now. Like I would have done raised her, like she's 22, so she's a full grown adult, and we could just be mother and daughter. You know, I could still provide her with guidance, but it would have been a new era of our relationship. And I long for that. I long for that. And whatever path, like I am the type of person where I wouldn't have like pressured her into doing something that I wanted to do. I would have looked at whatever her interests were and just supported that, like wholeheartedly. I would have supported whatever her interest would have been. Because my goal, as a parent or as a friend, is like I want my friends to feel comfortable to come to me. I wanted her to also feel comfortable to come to me and talk to me about the things that they're going through. And if I can offer any help or assistance, then I would do that. So anyone that watches this that unfortunately lost their child, I want to just say this specifically to you. This thing, this pain that you're going to live with, it is going to last, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Like, you're always going to feel that. But you got to take your love for them and fill that hole, the hole that's going to be in your heart. You got to take the love that you had for your child and fill that hole with the love, the memories, all of that. Fill that hole in your heart with those memories. Find a way to keep their memory alive. I'm not saying everybody should start a YouTube channel and talk about it, but if that's something that you want to do to help someone else, fine, do that. Some people start foundations. Initially, I was thinking about doing that, but what it turned into, because I did get an LLC and I was going to do a nonprofit and all of that, but what it turned into was my fitness business that I do now. And I think that that's more in line with my personality and who I am, because my child, right? She was my child, okay? And you see, my name is Coach Mean Reen, and the reason why I got that name is because I tell my clients the truth. I don't sugarcoat stuff at all. I'm going to give it to you real, raw, but with love. But I'm going to tell you the truth. If you come into me talking about my knees hurt, I'm going to tell you behind to sit down in the chair and work out. We still got to go. Like, we got things to do, and you came to me and you hired me for a reason, right? That's why they call me that. And in class, I don't care. Like, we working out. Let's go. I don't want to hear it. Let's do it. my daughter, she was the same. Okay? And before I got serious about my fitness, I was working out. I started working out. And I started to go to the gym 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. And I had lost maybe like 20 pounds, right? I thought I was doing something. And that's another thing about fitness, but we'll talk about that in a separate video. I thought I was doing something, honey. I had lost me a little 20 pounds. I was still large. I probably was in a size 22. So I'm still big, but I was feeling good. I lost 20 pounds. I thought I was doing something, but guess what? I lost 20 pounds because I had shocked my body because I hadn't done any working out prior to that. And the initial, when you first start working out, you'll drop, especially if you're really big, you'll drop 20 pounds fast, like easy. So I lost like 20, I was feeling good, but I was still eating macaroni and cheese, Popeyes, but I would get baked chicken, no, not macaroni, not Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I would get baked chicken because I thought that was healthy, right? I would get macaroni and cheese and baked chicken. Or I would go to a Jamaican restaurant and get jerk chicken, but get Festival. Like, Festival is bread, pretty much. So I was still eating bad. My diet had not changed. I stopped drinking soda. That was the only thing I did. But I was still drinking juice. But anyway, so one day she was like, she had been asking me to make her some baked ziti and some baked chicken. So that was her favorite meal for me. Like, that was the favorite meal. And all week she was like, Mommy, can you make me baked chicken and ziti? I love when you make that. So it was Friday and I was like, all right, we're gonna make it tonight because I didn't have to go to the gym. So she sitting there smacking her lips together, eating the food I slaved over and cooked. And she turns to me, and the only way that only your child can do. She turned to me, smacking her food, and she was like, Mommy, you still a little bit fat. You should go to the gym on Friday too. Talk about humbling. But she was damn right. But she didn't know that, she also meant stop eating whatever, but she didn't know that, She was just like, maybe you need to go to the gym on Friday too, because it ain't working. Child. Okay? But I still hear that in my head to this day, okay? And what I turn that into and what I take it to mean is you might think you're going hard, but you need to go harder. Hello, somebody. You might think you're going hard, but you need to go harder. You're not doing enough. That's what she meant. She was like, oh, you think you cute? You think you lost a little 20 pounds? That's not cutting it. So I take that, and that's how I live. I live like that. I go harder. I do more. Because right now, guys, I work a full-time job. I do my part-time business, and I post daily videos on YouTube. Okay? That is not an easy feat. It's not. It's not an easy feat, especially with my side business because I have one-on-one clients and I need to tend to them as well. Whew. So mama got a lot going on, and I do all of the things that I do in her memory. So for people for women, for men, any bereaved parent, my heart and soul goes out to you. Oh, she roasted me like a turkey and chomping. So for those that are watching this, like watching the replay, I hope I'm saying your name right. Marin or Khalil? Marin Khalil? I'm sorry if I'm not. She just said that my daughter roasted me like a turkey. What? And if I wish there was a videotape of it because the look on her face and she chomping on the food I just cooked for her. I'm in the kitchen cleaning up. She was like, she looked at me up and down. What? And she like, She like, maybe you should go to the gym on Friday too. But what if I don't still hear that in my head to this day? So guys, use that too. Use that. Keep my child, keep my baby girl Kimani's legacy alive. You need to go to the gym on Friday too. You need to go harder. You ain't going hard enough. You think you're going hard, but you ain't going hard enough. Bottom line. So that's my mantra for 2025. You thought you was going hard, but you're not going hard enough. Okay? And that's the message I want to give to the people out there that have lost a child. Keep their memory alive. Once you wipe your tears, and those tears are going to fall sometimes at the most random times, you're going to cry. You're going to be sad. But the thing that you need to do is put one foot in front of the other and keep their memory alive. You know, it might not be a grandiose thing. You might not start a foundation. You might not start anything. But if you come across somebody else that lost a child and they need a shoulder to cry on, you be that shoulder. You be that support. Because it's not easy. It's a lonely, lonely thing. Yes, thank you so much. And you say that in your head. Just think about it. Think about the baked chicken, the baked ziti, her chomping, cocked her head to the side, looked me up and down, and I was like, "What is it?" She said, "You need to go to the gym on Friday too, because you still a little bit fat." I was like, "Thanks." Woo! But yes, we're gonna work harder. We're gonna do better. We're gonna be better in her memory. Today would have been her 22nd birthday, and I'm telling you right now, I'm about to go on a trip in a few weeks, but this trip would have been her trip. Like, she would have been coming with me. My God, like, or she might have been like, I ain't going with you. She's 22. She might have wanted to go with her friends or her boyfriend. Oh my God, or her girlfriend if she wanted a girl. If she decided to, if she ended up liking girls, I don't, who knows? I don't know. But whatever it is, she would have been there. She probably wouldn't have been with me. She wouldn't have wanted to go nowhere with me. I'm old. But Lord, just guys, like, hold on to your children, like, every day. And this is a tip. This is a thing that I started doing just so I could always remember and have, like, memories of my loved ones. Oh, you're 20, but I like having my mom. Aww. So maybe she would have been like that. Like, I would really hope that she would, because I would most definitely take her on the trip with me, and I'm fun. We would have had fun. I wouldn't have been corny. I stay up late and party or whatever she wanted to do. I would have came. I know the music of today, but just the memories. So guys, create memories with your loved ones. Take pictures, take video of them, spend time talking to them. Like Marin, you said you're 20 and you like hanging out with your mom. Like, you probably do this already then, but like, just sit and talk to her and ask her about her childhood. Ask her about, like, the time in her life before you were born, like what that was like. Just to get to really know her as a woman and as a person. And just so you can hold on to those memories. So, like, way down the line, if she does, when she transitions, way long time from now, you'll have those memories, because that is what you hold on to, and that's what I hold on to. And I just pray for everyone that watches this video to have gotten something out of it. I really thank you guys for taking the time to watch and to stay and hang out with me for a little while. I really do feel a lot better. Unfortunately, there will not be a new video that goes out tomorrow, but of course there'll be a new video up on Saturday. And I thank you guys again so much for all of the support on the channel. If you know anyone that may benefit from this video, please share it with them. Or any of my other content on the channel about fitness. Tell your friends about my channel, you know, and hopefully if they're starting a fitness journey, they can be inspired, because that's my goal. Again, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Have a good night.